entitled My So-Called Congresswoman, a docudrama tragedy. Okay, that's where we are. This for people who don't know, that is My So-Called Congresswoman. And this is a story about her. So here we go. Peter, are you going to read it? Guys, follow along. The name of the story is Pizza Parlor Mucharama. You going to read? But don't do it in a weird voice.
I shouldn't do Bernie or
No. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right. Pizza Parlor Mucharama. The pizza was great. Once upon a time, my so-called congresswoman asked a local small pizzeria to cater an event for her. However, the congresswoman,
it's quoted,
was not willing to pay full price for the pizza. Instead, she demanded that the pizzeria cut their prices in half, or she would not give them the job. After agreeing to.
Keep going.
Because the owner needed the business, he agreed to her price. The congresswoman miraculously saved $900. The business owner barely broke even.
And let us add the PS to that, as we have also now recently come to learn, that they also didn't tip. They didn't tip. She didn't tip them. This is a local, long-time business, small business in Hollywood, in her district, in our district, a small local business in Hollywood. And she's nickel and diming them she's a schnara. You hear me, Debbie? Schnara. She likes to throw around Yiddish words. Try that one for size. I can't even. How dare you? And these people are like, this is a small margin, small pizza place. And she's bargaining with them to save $900 on her part and didn't tip. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I hope that people who are local, who watch, this is the thing. The local people are local party people, the ones that sit there and have their heads all the way up her ass. Do you realize that this is who you're dealing with? Somebody that has no problem just totally screwing over a small business? Never in my life would I ever do that to a business. And by the way, this is clearly someone who's never worked a job a day in her life. Because if you did, you tip. Okay, people that are working people know that you tip. It's unbelievable with her. I can't with her. When we were told this story honestly, it's embarrassing for her to some extent, but then I don't even know what to do with that.
It's unfortunate when you hear the stories constantly over time when people say that, well, no, Bernie never had a real job and Bernie doesn't. Listen, whatever you think of Bernie Sanders,
he's a public servant.
He's an advocate for small business, for labor, for a living wage, for healthcare. Debbie is the complete opposite of all of that. She's anti-labor. She is anti-living wage.
Anti-healthcare.
And she's anti-healthcare. And she's pro-war and pro-corporatization of her entire economic and
anti-tip
industry. The tipping part.
You trashy woman, you.
The issue with the tipping is actually very serious because it speaks to a much bigger issue here. There is a belief when it comes to tipping, particularly in certain cultures, not ours. Remember, tipping is commonplace in American culture because we simply don't get paid well enough.
Right. No, in Europe, it's not a thing, of course.
But one of the reasons why tipping is considered such a novelty for some people is because the fact of the matter is a lot of people like Debbie look down upon working people. They look down on them.
Clearly.
They don't care for them. They get that from people like the Hillary Clintons of the world who see them as nothing more than an inconvenience.
Not true, Metalopoly.
To get what you want. And in this case, what you had is somebody who disrespected somebody who has been a pillar of the community for a very long time.
It shouldn't matter who it is, though, really.
No.
Realistically speaking, you go into a small business in your thing and you're wanting to patronize that business, to support that business, and they barely break even and you save money. How is that any form of leadership or representation? It's disgusting. It really is. It's disgusting.
And the fact that you only begrudgingly handed over a tip because you realized just how embarrassing the circumstance was. Keep in mind that from our understanding, this was an order that was placed first, and then the haggling began.
So they had already accepted the job. And the truth is, for a small business, that's a big job. That's a big job. And the idea of, being catering for your local congressperson, and it's a good, it's a good thing. But let's just say this particular business owner did not find it so prestigious that he will be wanting to do that again anytime soon.
I don't think anybody would want to do it again.
Oh my God.
The reason why this person confided in Jen is because this person happens to be aware of her and aware of our podcast and likes what we're doing, and personally asked us to come to the pizzeria.
And by the way, it's quite good.
Excellent pizza. And this is coming from somebody who's from New Jersey.
It's really good.
So my standard
it's the fold
is
in half kind of
high.
And it's by the slice, like fold in half kind of.
And on top of everything else,
yeah.
As somebody who worked for many, many years in the service industry, the price is exceptionally low.
Yes.
Especially for down here. When you consider, and I'm not getting into detail, I'm not saying who it is, I'm not saying where. All I can tell you is that the cost of commercial real estate where this is located is not cheap.
No, this isn't Hollywood. This isn't downtown Hollywood area, not far from one of the circles, for people familiar. But it doesn't really matter where, and it doesn't matter any of these things that matter.
The point is that you were already getting a great deal on however massive of an order you were getting. But that wasn't enough. You needed to get a discount because you are the congresswoman, the leader of the county, and thinking,
you're entitled to just
I'm
get that.
entitled to get that.
But see, the way I see it is it's obviously the inverse. You are obligated to set an example, to be someone who helps small businesses thrive, to someone who says, you know what, I'm going to show my staff how we treat people here. This is how this goes. And that's something I originally thought, okay, well, it was her staff person and whatever. But the bottom line is you are your staff. You are your staff. You are who you surround yourself with. And anybody that would treat a small business owner like this is not anybody you should have representing you.
So this is where I disagree with you. This is all on Debbie, and I'll explain.
No, I said it is.
No, you're saying that it's the...
No, I said her staff did it, but it's ultimately her because you are who your staff is.
Her staff did it on her behalf. She decided, she called for this.
Okay.
And the reason I know she called for this is because even though Jen is not a congressional representative, one thing I can assure you that we do know about what it means to be a congressional representative is that they have a substantially large discretionary budget to spend money on things like food and travel. That is very common when you're a federally elected employee.
But that doesn't mean they don't try to still cut corners and screw people, apparently, to still get the biggest bang for your buck. You schnara.
In this case, it's incredibly disgusting because she didn't even have to pay for it. The reason she's doing this is because, like a lot of people, you can't expect somebody who has zero ethics to begin with. I mean, listen, Debbie is the Democratic Party champion of America when it comes to insider trading. So it shouldn't come as any surprise that cutting corners and breaking rules, breaking laws, quite frankly, should come as any surprise that she would treat a small business owner with such lack of respect and dignity.
I can't.
Like, this is I mean, we've heard of bad stories about her. And here's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people,
heard a lot of bad stories.
A lot of people are going to hear about this. I know they are. and people in her circle are going to hear about it, and people that don't like Jen are going to hear about it, and they're going to have to sit on it and recognize that, you know what's probably going to happen? There's probably another small business owner that's out there that's had to deal with this before.
I'm sure. This isn't the first time, of course.
This type of despicable treatment of workers.
It's like abuse.
It is abuse. It's abuse of power.
It is abuse of power, for sure.
And so
bully.
That person might actually build up the courage to potentially reach out to Jen and say, yeah, I dealt with Debbie a few years ago, and this is what she did to our business. Yeah,
I'm sure it's the same. This isn't the first time. If you treat businesses like that, that's how you treat businesses. But, you know, I just, it's so shameful. It's just shameful. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.